court ruling yesterday?
My only concern is just the timing issues about getting the language together so that we can get the ballots ready by the time they have to be submitted to UOCAVA or military and overseas voters. We can easily comply with what the courts ask us to do. They didn't take offense to a lot of what was in there. They just asked that for specificity that we add a few more clarifying terms, and I'm fine with that. I would say that the language that's being proposed here is probably belt and suspenders to make sure that we cover everything that they want us to cover. And while what the court is suggesting is going to lengthen the ballot language, it's still, from an elections administration point of view, is not so much that we can't accommodate it with essentially one stamp on a return ballot, which is the thing that I was most concerned about from an election administration standpoint. So, I mean, other than the timing, I wish we'd have got it a little sooner. This is easy to comply with.
Is your concern with the length only with the mail-in? It's not with people standing in the poll trying
to... Those things are issues. Those things are always issues. We tried to be as concise as we could be, and generic as we could be. As I said, the court wanted some more specificity, and that's fine as long as because you have two things at work here. You have a request that you have more information so that it's a complete, fair, and accurate description. At the same time, also on the administration side, knowing that even whether you're using a mail-in ballot or a computer screen, if it's going to be more than one screen, then people have to keep scrolling down, and you want people to be able to. You don't want to have glitches in your methods of voting, and so I believe that the language that we have is a reasonable approach to be able to accomplish both what the court has asked us to do and the needs that we have on the administration side. So I'm comfortable that we're going to be able to accomplish that. But my main concern is that we get this done as soon as possible, because we only have a handful of days before they have to and without going into all the details that you have to understand when you're actually administering an election, these ballots have to be tested, they have to be reviewed, they have to be. There's a lot going on there that we still have to accomplish, and the sooner that we can get this done and behind us, the more we can move on to getting those ballots transmitted 8 days from now.
Any idea what this might mean in terms of cost?
We believe that the way that the language was written in the proposal that's here now, we'll see what we end up with, that it's not going to add a significant cost. Where we may end up running into cost is with the number of ballots that have to be printed. If it adds a page or so, and then for the regular ballots that we're sending out at the local board level. But that varies from county to county, because there may be issues in one county that you don't have in another county. And the challenge that we have right now is that there are only 4 printers in the state of Ohio that do this, and so there might be some people working overtime to try to get this done, and sometimes there's a cost affiliated with that.
I think, is the ballot board interested in hearing from the folks who put this issue forward?
We're going to give we're complying with what the court's orders do. Really, we don't have a lot of latitude in the matter at this point in time. We're following what the court has asked us to do. I can tell you from my experience of dealing with these issues that I can sit in a room with about 10 really smart attorneys and none of them agree with one another. So we're going to try to come to consensus on all these issues as quickly as we can to make sure that we put everything in this ballot language that the court wants us to do without making it so long that it becomes unwieldy in terms of voters actually having a document that they can vote.
Looking back now, I mean, do you feel like it was pretty obvious that what the ballot board approved initially was?
No, look, the court did not change a lot in what we did. I mean, there are some things they left untouched. What they're asking for is some additional language. So we were trying to be concise. They want a little more language. That's fine. We can easily do that. but our job was to summarize, and we summarized as best we could. If the court would like to have more, we can easily accommodate that.
But it wasn't only omissions; it was also factual inaccuracies, right?
Well, they said the omissions led to some concerns about that it had the potential to mislead. Okay, and so that is something that we can easily accommodate. I think, honestly, after reading them both, I mean, the people standing around here, you understand how ballot language is. The more simple the ballot language is, the easier it is for people to understand. The more you add, the more complicated it becomes. And to me, and to the layperson, I think the harder it is to understand. And so the more you add to something, the more complicated you make. And then we're trying to meet that happy medium of making sure that it's complete, that it has all the information that the courts ask, but also that it is done in a way that is understandable. And remember that there's going to be an advertisement that will help pay the salaries of everybody standing in this gaggle right now, where we're going to print this for 3 consecutive weeks in every newspaper in the state. Where you can see the actual language, you can look at it. Anybody that's really interested in this can have access to all of the information and more that they would ever need to understand it. This is just about what's on the ballot for Election Day. I am confident that people who have an interest in really digesting this have full access to all the information they need to come to a reasonable conclusion.
With this issue and some of the issues, court